Hello and welcome to the Album Man, and today I'm going to be doing weekly rock news for the week of the 14th of April 2013. And yes, I'm going to remember to do my CDs and vinyl I've been listening to this week after we've covered the news. So first, just a quick little update thing of this week mainly is going to be Bat Out of Hell week. Hopefully I'll get at least the first 2 Bat Out of Hell albums done. Hopefully all 3 I'd like, but I don't know, it might happen. I'm quite busy this week, to be honest. But the third one will be coming next week, or just run into it. But yeah, it's mainly going to be Bat Out of Hell week. There's also going to be a review of Sacred Mother Tongue's Out in the Darkness. I received my promo review copy of that today, so that was pretty cool. That'll be coming soon. And also just a, thing of check out my Facebook page for any updates and just random stuff, to be honest. Okay, so let's get on with weekly rock news. And as usual, we're going to start with a little bit of sadness. Yes, we usually like to start from sadness. Well, not like to. I would like to actually do one of these without having some sadness. But unfortunately, the world of rock won't let me do that. And this time we have the Deftones bassist, as you all know, I'm sure, Chi Cheng, who has died at the age of 42. And he's been pretty much in a sort of semi-coma type thing since his traffic accident in 2008, but has started to show signs of improvement recently, but unfortunately his heart seemed to give out, and he sadly died. Now, I have to say honestly, I can't say I knew who he was till, yesterday when he died, or the day before. I've heard of the Deftones, heard the odd song, but don't particularly like what I've heard. I don't know anything about them at all, so I can't say I knew about him whatsoever, or know his bass playing whatsoever. But, it's always sad when someone dies, at a young age like that, so, my regards to his family. Okay, let's move on to some more positive stuff than that, because that was not that positive at all. So, Black Sabbath. Let's talk a bit about Black Sabbath. So, weirdly, they are going to be debuting the first, well, not first, but one of the new tracks from their album 13, which will be called The End of the Beginning, on this season finale, if yes, you had this right, CSI, Crime Scene Investigations, on May 15th. Yeah. Black Sabbath, as in Black Sabbath, a debuting track from the new album on CSI. What? I don't understand why this is happening, but okay. Right. Apparently, the producer of the show, I think it's of the show, because the producer of the album is Rick Rubin, and this is some guy called Don McGill. And he says, so many of us are long-time fans, and seeing as the album is titled 13, and this is the finale of season 13, it seemed like the perfect match. Yes, because CSI and Black Sabbath have just always worked hand in hand and been the perfect match. What the hell? I think it's quite stupid, but still we get to hear a new Black Sabbath track on May 15th, which is a month today. So, that's cool. Well, probably a bit more than a month, because this will probably end up being out early on the 16th, certainly UK time. Okay, another thing, Status Quo have announced, well, I don't know if they've announced, but they're going to release a new album, Bullet Quo, on June 10th, which comes after the stupid film that they announced. I don't know if I talked about it. I talked about it on the Facebook page a bit. But, yes, Rick Parfitt, I think, and Francis Rossi, I think it's those from good old Quo, are going to be in a film called Bullet Quo, which looks like the worst thing ever. No, it doesn't. It looks like the Chuckle Brothers, but with Status Quo and with an awesome soundtrack. I'm going to be watching it. I'll do a review when it comes out. Why not? But yeah, it doesn't look that good. But yeah, there's a new album, so that's cool, because Status Quo are awesome, and new music from them is cool. Now, one thing I don't know is if this is the Frantic Four who have been touring at the moment, or it's the Status Quo before the Frantic Four reunion. I don't know, because if it isn't the Frantic Four, I'll be interested, but not as I would be if it was the proper Four. That would be awesome, but I genuinely don't know. I would assume not, because it hasn't been publicised that heavily. Okay, another announcement that I only found out about today is that John Landy, or Yorn, or how you say it, who is an awesome singer, and only released an album last year, which was pretty awesome actually. I didn't listen to all of it, but right ahead, it was pretty awesome. Yeah, it's going to be releasing a new album in June. I'm definitely going to be reviewing that. There was some clips posted somewhere, previews from it. Sounded really, really cool. What I heard, can't remember the name or much about it, but yeah, look that up if you're interested. Okay, a bit of not much news, but apparently Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, of course, wants to tour with AC/DC and doesn't care really how much he gets paid. Apparently it's on his bucket list, and one of his dreams is to play, hit the road with AC/DC, and he would do it for any fee and be prepared to take a pay cut. I didn't realise that he was quite that big an AC/DC fan, but yeah, that'd certainly be a cool double headlining tour, Aerosmith and AC/DC. Yeah, I'd go and see that. I mean, don't have that much to say about this. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Who knows if it happened. Okay, and lastly, something near and dear to me, the band Asia. And Steve Howe has revealed why he quit, and it was quite a shocking announcement, certainly for me, that he quit and has been replaced by Sam Colson, who I've heard on a little thing they released, I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, just some clips of him playing the older stuff. He actually sounds alright, to be honest. He sounds alright. I'm not quite as adamantly against him as I was when Steve Howe first left. I was just a bit bitter about that. I've got over that now. Still, I was very interested to know why he was leaving. And basically, he said that, well, he just didn't want to do it, really. And the reasons, I suppose, was he just felt that, as he says, I got a calling to follow a different train of thought. I couldn't ignore that any longer. And it seems really it's his solo career that he wants to do. He's planning a new solo tour and a new Steve Howe trio album. So it seems that type of thing. Probably also working with Yes as well. I've heard they might be making a new album. So yeah, it's still sad. I mean, Steve Howe's solo stuff is kind of cool, but Asia's just epic. Yeah, so that's kind of sad, to be honest. Okay. So, let's get on to the CDs and vinyl I've been listening to recently. We'll start with vinyl, there aren't too many of those. So, I've been listening to a bit of Clapton, a bit of backtracking. This is just a best of on vinyl, 22 career-spanning tracks. So, just been casually listening to a bit, it's Clapton, it's pretty awesome. Okay, what else? This is a weird one. I'll go for the weirder one. Bonham. Yes, this is Bonham's album, The Disregard of Timekeeping, I think, yep. And I think this is the first album by Bonham, which is Jason Bonham's old band, and had the minor hit in America, it seems, called Wait For You, an emphasis on minor. It was a very minor hit. But yes, what do I think of it? There's a couple of good songs. Holding On Forever and Dreams, which are the last two songs on the first side, they're good songs. They are actually really good. What type of music is this? Heavily Led Zeppelin inspired, sort of middle of the road AOR, to be honest. The singer is trying so hard to be Robert Plant. It's not that good. It's alright, it's alright. I picked this up for 50p. Was it worth 50p? Yeah, just for the novelty, really. But it's actually okay. If you saw it really cheap and you wanted to hear what Jason Bonham did, maybe you're a big Black Country Communion fan, then yeah, pick it up for cheap. So all this news about Quo, not much news, Buller Quo made me feel like listening to a bit of Quo, so I decided to listen to the album On The Level, which features the hit Down Down, but really it has some really fantastic other good songs. A cover of Bye Bye Johnny, the Chuck Berry song, it's a fantastic cover they do. Over and Done particularly I like. I mean, it's just a really strong album. There isn't really a weak track. It's just solid, Quo, rock and roll. I mean, what more could you ask for from this band? Yeah. And of course it has the hit Down Down, which is an amazing song. I love that. But yeah, if you like Quo, this is one of their best albums, I'd say. And yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. if you like rock and roll and that type of stuff. Okay, on to the CDs. So what have I been listening to? Let's get out of the way of some of the more obvious ones first. Beatles, Please Please Me, just reviewed that, so yeah. I recently showed this in my CDs I bought recently, Coheed and Cambria's Aftermath Ascension. I'll be doing a review of it, so I'm not going to be saying much at this moment. Let's see what to do next. Okay, so that's most of the obvious ones. So I decided to revisit this. Well, not revisit, I know it like the back of my hand. Dream Theater's Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from Memory, their masterpiece, and probably, in my opinion, the second greatest metal album to Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell ever created. I love this album to death. It's one of the best prog records, again the second best prog record as well to Pink Floyd's The Wall. It's just fantastic. The best tracks, I mean, they're all good, but I'd have to say Home is probably my favourite from it. Fatal Tragedy as well, the last song. Dance of Eternity is my favourite instrumental of all time. What's the one they always play live? I think it's Through Her Eyes. It could be that. It's either Through My Words or Through Her Eyes. I always get a little confused between them. Oh no, sorry, Spirit Carries On is what I'm thinking. Spirit Carries On. That's the song I was thinking of. That's an immense song. They're all, I mean, it's so strong. It's got a fantastic story. I love the story. I think it's it's cleverly done, really well presented. Lyrically, it's a very strong album, and yeah, it presents its concept very well. I mean, it's not massively. Well, the plot is a little convoluted, to be honest, but lyrically, it's presented in a sort of a clear way, I suppose. But yeah, definitely recommend checking it out if you don't know. Let's talk about Black Sabbath a bit. Black Sabbath's Live Evil. Recently picked this up. And I've always had sort of mixed things about it. A lot of people don't like it. They say the mixing is a bit off. Dia's vocal, too far. Butler's bass is bloody high in the mix. I'll tell you, that's loud as hell. But I quite like that, actually. Dia's voice is too low in the mix. I admit the mixing isn't the best, even though this is the remaster, but it's not remixing, so what do you expect? Do I like this album? Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I am a bit of a Dio fanboy, said before. But the problem I do have, far too many Aussie songs in this. Now, am I trying to disrespect Aussie Sabbath? No, don't take it in that way. I love Aussie Sabbath, but I like Ozzy singing Aussie Sabbath. Ozzy and Dio's voices are not exactly what you'd call similar at all. They're like comparing apples and oranges. While Ozzy tends to sing along with the chord progression or the riffs even, on songs like Iron Man especially, whereas Dio tends to always sing over it. On something like Heaven has a distinctive riff, but he doesn't sing with it, he sings over it. Very different styles, different vocalists. I personally prefer Dio. It's no lie, he's my favourite vocalist of all time. But too many. I mean, this was on the flippin' Mob Rules tour. There were so many songs, let's see, from the Heaven and Hell album. They only play Neon Nights, Children of the Sea, and Heaven and Hell. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Those 3 songs. Come on, there's more on that album. There was more on that album they could have played. Like anything. I don't know why. Obviously I love songs that they play, like War Pigs, Iron Man, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Children of the Grave. But and r.i.p. But I don't know. Dio doesn't suit them as well as Ozzy does, I'd say. Still, they're really good versions of it. It's a good album. If you're a Black Sabbath Dio fan, you have to check it out, really. Let's see. An album I know quite well, I've been listening to recently. Muse's Black Holes and Revelations, one of my favourite albums from the last decade. This was the album where I fell in love with Muse, and unfortunately their last great album. In fact, their last good album. I thought The Resistance was it had good songs, but in general it was very meh. And Second Law, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on that. But this album, an absolute classic. Love it to death, just all the way through. Isn't a bad track on it. My favourite track, probably Nights of Sidonia, and I don't know, Starlight and Supermassive Black Hole. Yeah, it's something more interesting, and you probably won't know, is the Reticence are a more Mortem r.i.p. My French is not very good, so I've probably butchered that. But yes, this is, I've talked about the Reticence quite a few times. They are sort of a porcupine, Tool-esque, dark, progressive band, I suppose. Yeah, you know, that sort of opathy type thing, but they're not derivative, and it's really just a one-man project. It's Chris Hathcock's project, really. He plays everything. And yeah, I really like this. It's not as good as their newest album, which was Le Tombe de Detritus. But yeah, it's a really strong album. Definitely the song Head, especially, is fantastic. The title track as well. Yeah, Emancipate as well. Love that. Yeah, really strong album. Bit of Asia. Asia's XXX, not one to Google on the internet. Doesn't come up with the album much. I'm going to be doing a full review of this eventually, but I love this album. This was in my top 10 favourite albums of last year, in fact possibly even top 5. It's just fantastic. I mean, I didn't know Asia could produce something to this standard. This is, in my opinion, their second best album, second to Asia's Asia, with classics like Heat at the Moment, Only Time Will Tell. And this song, Face on the Bridge, oh my god, is that one of their best songs. Just listen to Face on the Bridge, and then if you're not blown away, then you're not an Asia fan, to be honest. God, is it a good song. But the thing is, this album is just consistent, from Bury Me in Willow to Ghost of a Chance and Tomorrow the World, and it's just every track. There's only 9 tracks, and every one is a winner. All killer, no filler, phenomenal album. Only a couple more left. Order of Voices, yes, self-titled. And I was listening to this because I thought I was going to get to see them at Prog Fest, but due to scheduling, I didn't, unfortunately. But I still love this album. Songs like, especially Reaching Down, is just fantastic. These, what are they? They were sort of, well, they were a prog band. More to the heavier spectrum, more to the prog metal, but not quite that sort of, Dream Theater, not that heavy. I don't quite know what to describe them as. Maybe sort of neo-prog with a bit of a metal influence. I don't know. But yeah, definitely check out the song Reaching Down. Fantastic prog song. 2 more. Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime. Yeah. Why I hadn't listened to this before, I don't know. But I decided to. This was actually a couple of weeks ago I did. And yeah, it's bloody good. It's fantastic. It's a classic. Is it as good as Empire? Well, yeah, it's definitely as good. Is it better? Quite possibly, yes, actually. As an album, I think it's strong. Even though I think Empire has the stronger tracks, I think stuff like Jet City Woman, Silent Lucidity, Empire, and Delta Brown as well, actually, some of the strongest tracks the band's ever produced. The songs on here, they're just phenomenal. Sweet Sister Mary, that's a fantastic 10-minute song, yeah. One else particularly, Revolution Calling, Love as well. Just really, really strong. And lastly, but not least, AC/DC's Highway to Hell. It's a classic. I don't know why it took me this long to listen to it. I love it. So this has been a particularly long episode of Weekly Rock News. This has been the Album Man. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to subscribe. And as usual, long live rock and roll.